Hello, my name is Max, and I will be your MC tonight. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Melbourne Polytechnic's National Campus Music Competition, proudly supported by Tertiary Access Group. Before we do anything, I would like to acknowledge the Kulin Nation's people, traditional learning and teachings, which occurred for thousands of years on the land where Melbourne Polytechnic's campuses are now located, and where we stand and run this event tonight. We pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We have incredible students tonight performing an array of instruments and genres who will all perform a couple of songs plus an exclusive interview to follow. You're in for a great night of music. The National Campus Music Competition is celebrating its 30th year. Over the past 3 decades, the competition has showcased the raw talent of acts including Eskimo Joe, Jebediah, Peking Duck, and ballpark music. Before we get into it, we would just like to say a big thanks to our sponsors. As said before, Tertiary Access Group, and with the support of their sponsors, Furphy and Red Bull Australia. And also, a big thank you to Melbourne Polytechnic's sound and production staff, the SLAM team, and the sound students for helping make this night possible. Right, let's kick into it. So, our first act is Indigo. She is a rock musician based between Mornington Peninsula and Melbourne. She found her love for music at 16 when she lived on a small island in Massachusetts, USA. Away from her family, music became her comfort. Since returning from America, she released a single and an EP all before her 18th birthday in February, as well as a single with Blue Captive, Rose and Daisy on March 1st. Her music is a dream-soaked vision full of honesty, love, hope, and hurt. Playing at venues such as the Tote, God's Mornington, Whole Lotta Love Bar in Melbourne, and the Mornington Peninsula, she is now accompanied by a band, as well as playing very intimate acoustic shows on occasion. And without further ado, we'd like to introduce Indigo.
Hi everyone, it's so lovely to be here. Before I get started, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional landowners, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and also acknowledge that this always was and always will be Aboriginal land. We're going to get started with a new one, which is really exciting because it's never been played before because we've been locked up. It's called Honey. Yeah, I hope you enjoy.
Your love drizzles like honey, baby, so sweet, nothing can compete. One drop makes me feel like I am in too deep. Oh, 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 'cause I think I might love you. Do you love me too? Yeah, I think I might love you. Do you love me too? I'm like a bee who's drawn to honey, or a man who is drawn to money. Your touch feels familiar, not unknown. Truth be told, just hold me close, 'cause I think I might love you. Do you love me too? Yeah, I want you with every bone in my body. There ain't no one who makes me feel like you do. I would never hurt you, my intentions are pure. Although I know sometimes you feel insecure because of the way someone else treated you. Love you, do you love me too? Yeah, I think I might love you. Do you love me too? Thank you.
So the next song is one off the EP we released in February. It's called Everybody's Friend. And this is also my guitarist, Liam Wiseman. He's a legend. All right, let's go.
Superficial kindness, that's all you've ever known. Can't blame you for the way you hurt on. Take advantage of my heart, 'cause you know there will be a place for you. Can't help that only you see the best. Wish that I could hold a grudge. Everybody knows this is not who I am. I am everybody's friend. So why don't you go away? Use me, follow the trend. I hate the way this always ends. Imagine if one day it happened to be you treated me with some dignity. 'Cause every time I get stitches, you tear my wounds open. Can't help that I only see the best. Wish that I could hold a grudge. Everybody knows this is not who I am. I am everybody's friend. So why don't you go away? Use me, follow the trend. I hate the way this always ends. I hate the way this ends. Can't help that I only see the best. Wish that I could hold a grudge. Everybody
Thank you very much. So our last song for tonight is going to be my debut single, which I released over a year ago, probably close to 2 years ago now. I wrote it when I was little 15-year-old heartbroken, but now it's still a nice song to sing. So yeah, we're gonna play that. It's called Cyclone.
You are like a cyclone sweeping me off my feet, making me feel like I was on the ride over my dreams, feeling happiness and adrenaline, things I never even experienced. Nothing could have ever went this. But just as cyclones are unpredictable, you decided that you didn't want me no more. Did that see it coming? Did I know to prepare? 'Cause this cyclone was a big one, and you know cyclones don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they use. And they sure as hell don't care about me or you. But you are like a cyclone sweeping me. Oh, if my feet making me feel like I was on the ride of my dreams, feeling happiness and adrenaline, things I never even experienced. But you and it. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us, and thank you to Melbourne Poly, all the sponsors, to the National Music Competition. This was awesome. Cheers.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. We are at the National Campus Music Competition here at Melbourne Polytechnic, and we've just had Indigo come off stage as the first performer with us. Indigo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me here firstly. It's a pleasure. And yeah, so I am a folk rock artist based in Melbourne now, but originally from the Peninsula. And I've been playing for probably 2 years gigs, and then I started playing with a band around a year ago. Yeah, I'm a Melbourne Poly student studying my advanced diploma of music.
Excellent. Awesome. So coming from the Peninsula, do you think that coming down that way, like Sorrento, kind of Dramana, it's a very beach-esque, very relaxed kind of environment down there. Do you think that has had a big influence on your music, perhaps from your folk side?
Oh,
As
definitely.
well, being from a beach town.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's just like such a massive part of like socializing there is music. Like there's always people playing, or like every pub is kind of has acoustic music going on, and like growing up around that, I loved it and I was always really inspired by it. So I was like, okay, maybe I should try this. And then yeah, I started out playing gigs at God's Mornington when I was 14. I
Yes,
think
you've been playing there for a while.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
like
that's
my second
awesome.
home at this point. But yeah, definitely. And like just meeting so many acoustic artists, you just learn from them and then you draw from them. And then yeah, so definitely Peninsula is a massive influence for me.
Yeah, it seems to have like a really big kind of acoustic community down there.
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Oh, cool. So you've branched out from there and you've come to Melbourne, but you did a little bit of a side tour outside of Australia for a little bit there. So where did you end up?
So I spent about a month in Hawaii where I bought my ukulele, which I just played with, and it's kind of been my partner in crime since. And then I spent 10 months in North America where I did a bit of busking. I busked Times Square in New York, which was incredible.
With your Hawaiian ukulele?
Actually, I did it with backing tracks. I met these people just on the street and I was just watching them in wonder because I was like, oh my God, this is incredible.
I want to do that.
Yeah, it was amazing. And they were like, you're a musician, aren't you? And I was like, I'm trying, that kind of thing. And then ended up singing with them and then like meeting up again and just playing heaps with them while I was there, which was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you met some people. This was in New York.
Yeah, in New York City.
Yeah, in New York City. And they were like excited to have you on board with them.
Yeah, they just were. They could tell that I was like so captivated and that I was so like interested and like just thought it was so cool. And they were like, you know what, you want to sing a song? And then I sang with them and they were like, okay, like you can sing, like, do you want to sing more songs? And I was like, okay, cool, thank you.
And that speaks wonders, like not just obviously about other musicians and being in New York City and being around all of that, but as you as well, as a performer, like being able to have the charisma kind of oozing out of you before you even sing. Someone going like, you've got some music chops, you've got some musicality about you, the way that you approach them and the kind of creative response that you have to them. So that's probably why you're here, hey? All of that kind of comes into that. So, I mean, like coming from the Peninsula,
yeah,
which is a pretty chilled out environment,
yeah, definitely,
to New York City,
yeah.
which is the complete opposite
Yep.
of that. How did that change or impact your sound, do you think?
I think honestly, like it gave me more confidence in my sound and it gave me the confidence to start trying different things because I didn't believe in myself as someone that could do more than just my own little bubble of performing. And then once I branched out and I was also I was living on an island, Martha's Vineyard. It's just off the coast of New York and Boston. Oh. So yeah, it was amazing. And I was playing music there as well. And so I just started to build this confidence that I was like, I can get other people involved in my music now because other people are starting to believe in me. And it's just been like, and especially even since I started uni, like when I started, I didn't think that I'd ever have a band backing me. And like now it's just amazing because like to have all these beautiful people involved is incredible.
Oh, having the support and being able to play with other musicians is what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey. Oh, man. And the songs that you played, they were wicked.
Thank you.
So wicked. So
Thank you.
And it's such a different kind of translation as well from the different sounds. Songs that might have been older or newer or songs that you might have revisited. Like, has that kind of changed now that you've got the band or people that play with you, how you originally wrote it and then rearranging the parts with the band?
Yeah, definitely. It all changes and modulates into I think, better versions. Like Cyclone, what we played tonight, originally it's just me and the ukulele, and we actually added tonight the instrumental from a different song of ours at the end, because like they're the same key, and just like really being able to have different elements from my different band members is really awesome. And yeah, like breakdown sections and stuff now come in, like, yeah, definitely changes and just keeps growing, which is cool.
That's so exciting. I also wanted to mention or ask you that during COVID, I saw that you were really active. And as someone who has spent such a long time as a performing artist and a really successful performing artist internationally, that would have really affected you in so many ways. And it was really impressive to see the routine that you constructed and how you managed to stay interacting with your audience. So can you tell us a bit more about how you did that?
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely a hard time. I think I focused on a bigger range of projects instead of like my music.
Just one thing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was disheartening, not being able to play, not being able to record. So I started doing art projects and working a bit with Flow Creative, which are incredible. It's run by Maddie Herbert and Sean Primrose.
What's Flow Creative?
So it's basically like a community events magazine. They just want to basically give back. And so I did like a visual art kind of group with them, which was amazing. And I did t-shirt collaboration. So yeah, it's just been really nice. And I've just kind of taken the opportunity to reach out with other people on social media to try to network in that way and keep myself occupied, rather than like getting caught up on the fact that I couldn't do the things that I wanted to. Yeah.
Which is hard to do as well, because you're kind of stuck in it and you go, I need to be doing this, or I need to be practicing more, or I should be learning this new skill. But just taking the things that, or taking the time to do the things that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
Your artwork and your t-shirt design, and working on other music that's, not necessarily under the bubble of Indigo Mckeon, but just still exploring creatively what those sound like. Tell us where we can go and listen to your music and what's coming up.
Yeah, so you can listen to my music on Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much every streaming platform, Bandcamp. It's all under Indigo Mckeon. Also find me on Instagram as indigomckeon.music and Facebook as Indigo Mckeon Music. And coming up, very exciting, going to start recording an album soon, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be my debut album. It's going to be 10 tracks. Yay! I know, I'm so excited. And it's all going to be basically following my own journey of healing and growing, and exploring very different themes such as sexual assault, trigger warning, sorry, I should have said that before. But yeah, and just really being raw and honest, and using this as a part of my own healing to move forward, and also, just to give an honest record. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's a big reflection of folk as well, is that raw kind of storytelling. And I think being able to be honest with yourself, have a band behind you that's doing it, and being able to play the music that you want to play in a supportive environment is really cool. So we're so excited to hear that album. We're so excited to see what else comes up for Indigo. Thank you so much for talking to us today and playing your wonderful music, and go and check out Indigo stuff as soon as you can.
Thank you so much.
So our next performance is Eve. Eve is a 21-year-old singer-songwriter and producer who's recently moved back to Melbourne to study music performance. After living and graduating back in WA, she has been singing since she can remember and writing her own music for the past 4 to 5 years. Her lyrics are often quite dreamy and generally honest and true to what flows out of her at the time. Some may say that they're quite romantic and in touch with her creative source that she taps into. Eve has written a lot of lyrics, but originally started out writing poetry, which helped her progress into a songwriting that she is now. She doesn't particularly like to define her sound/writing style, as she believes art should be expressed without limitations and honors what is to be expressed. And without further ado, Eve.
Hi, how's everyone going? Hope we're all going good. Before I start my performance, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and owners of the land on which we stand, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, always was, always will be. Today I have 3 tracks. The first one I'll be singing is called All These Things I Know. This one actually came to me in a dream, which was pretty cool, so this is the product of that dream. the kind of power that can bring you to your knees. It's not so complicated, all you need to say is please. Don't you know I'm not the one who likes to sit down on a piece. And sometimes I swear you'll never learn. You like to put me down and keep me there and see me hurt. You're so intimidated by a girl who knows her worth. Don't you know that if you play with fire, you are gonna get burned? So don't you really wanna know what I do? I know what you wanna say, but I'm on to you. Thinking about it, baby, I know you want this too. 'Cause I know, and I know all these things I know. All these things I know. If I don't want you in my future, I don't want you here. I'm thinking about your face and all about your eyes and how you're trying to take my place, but I'm just trying to reach the sky. I know that you think you can do all the things I do, well, won't you go ahead and grab yourself the same pair of my shoes and we'll see how you do. And I don't like to waste my time. Try as hard as you want, I'll feel right through your lies. You can try to fool me, I see with more than just my eyes. More than just my eyes. I see with more than just my eyes. So don't you really wanna know what I do? I know what you wanna say, but I'm on to you. Thinking about it, baby, I know you want this too. Running round like you've got somewhere to go. You know you don't need to show or question me when I let you go. 'Cause all these things I know. All these things I know, all these things I, all these things I know, all these things I, all these things I know, all these things I know. All these things I know, all these things I, all these things I know, all these things I know. All these things I know, yeah. It's my first time. Thank you. This second track I have called 777. It was a number that I saw in a time where I was questioning a lot of my life. And to accompany me, I have James on the guitar. He's fantastic in every single way possible. And this is that one. Sweet dreams of what you're making me, it's what I feel. The skies are all ablaze in a fire, to me you're all that's real. The truth cannot be tied with a tongue, it's something you can't seal. tough when it comes to love, but your heart's concealed. It's on your lips and it's all over your face. Yes, I'm running, but you're waiting. You know I love you, so you know that I would take this just to let you in, to get to that place that I begin, the 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 place that I begin. Oh, I've seen it all, baby, you're black and white, and I feel you calling with that gaze in your eyes. And I know that dreams are not just for the night. Oh, I've seen it all written between your lines. Oh, say you want me and I can taste it. It's on your lips and it's all over your face. Yeah, so I'm running, but you're waiting. You know I love you, so you know that I would take this just to let you in, to get to that place that I begin. Oh, the place that I begin, the place that I begin, the place that I, the place that I, the place that I begin. Thanks. So, this last one, I released earlier this year. It was my first demo, and it's actually about the man standing next to me. This one is called Modern Logic. I know that you can give me everything I'm wanting, but I'm left haunted. I'm scared of what I'm feeling for you, feeling for you, boy. Scared of falling. 'Cause I didn't see you coming, but now you're here and all I know is I want you close. favorite by far. Oh, guess that's a start. Babe, I know that you're the one I'm working for, so just make sure you stay around before I go. You defy modern logic, it's in your eyes, it's in your heart, never apart. And of everything I'm given, you are my favorite by far, yeah. Guess that's a start. Oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Hey, hey, you. Babe, I know that you're the one I'm working for. Just make sure you stay around before I go. When I feel it coming, you're right there. When I start running, lay in bed, all the things I already know. Thank you.
And we are back with Eve. So Indigo just left us. She was our first performer today for the National Campus Music Competition, as you can see behind us. And with us now we have Eve, who was our second performer, and that's Eve with a full stop.
Yes, thanks.
Fantastic.
That's my name, just Eve.
Just Eve. That should be your stage name. Just Eve.
Yeah, I think so.
Full stop.
Yeah.
No, we've got Eve with us. I just wanted to ask you, tell us a bit about your sound and about the music that you make.
Yeah, so when I started creating music, I didn't really have much of a particular sound in mind. I don't think I actually had probably enough knowledge to hone in what I think
Like
I was.
a style.
Yeah, I was just kind of putting together what I thought sounded good. And then I think it kind of ended up being like a lo-fi kind of contemporary R&B, kind of dreamy. It has a lot of like synths and a lot of background movement, so it's very mystical.
Very mystical.
Yeah.
Do you think that comes from any kind of perhaps subconscious like artists that you listen to as well? Like, do you listen to a lot of lo-fi or a lot of R&B?
Yeah, I do. I think I know an influence, which seems typical now that I say it out loud, is The Weeknd. I listen to a lot of his original stuff, like the Trilogy album.
Kissland.
Yeah, Kissland, the song Kissland, actually.
Yep.
That kind of halfway drop to the middle.
Yeah,
a lot of that stuff I think comes through, and a lot of the artists I listened to as a kid were just artists that were on SingStar. And then I kind of remember being a child and
remember SingStar.
Yeah.
It took me a minute, like, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I think the earliest memory of like really liking an artist for me was when I was living overseas as a kid. And
Where were you living?
I was in Holland
Oh,
for 3.5
wow.
years. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So do you speak Dutch?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
I remember taking lessons, but other than that, it's just gone.
Anyway,
It's
you still
just
lived in
been-
Holland.
Yeah, and I remember sitting in a booster seat in the back of the car. I remember the booster seat was blue, and I was holding the John Legend Once Again album.
Oh, beautiful.
So that I think maybe subconsciously comes through as well with
Yeah.
a bit of lyric writing and
The
that
contemporary
kind of,
R&B kind of
yeah,
vibe.
definitely. Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh,
Yeah.
man, Kissland. That's such a great album.
I know, it's one of my faves.
Wow. There's some
Yeah.
really great, like really lush synth sounds and stuff on there
Yeah, I'm keen to see what like presets he uses
too. Mm.
because
You want them.
Damn.
I want to use
give
those.
me
So do you
Yeah.
think, because you've been making all your own music and like
Yeah.
producing it as well.
yeah.
So you're kind of coming up as, more than a performing artist and a songwriter, but
Yeah.
also a producer.
Yeah.
You excited about that? Would
Definitely.
you call yourself a producer?
I still feel a bit
You just made all of your music
I
and
know
performed it.
I feel like a bit of a novice still, and I think for me personally, I know I started off my first introduction into producing was through one of my really good friends who I actually went to high school with, but wasn't friends with him at the time. We kind of clicked after. And then I remember watching him create his stuff, and he's back in WA, and I remember thinking to myself, how, like, I just can't do that. Like it was a wall. And then I think I was lucky enough that my mum started seeing this guy, and he was studying music at the time, was taking time off work and just living his life, having the best time ever. And then he took me under his wing and taught me how to use Logic.
Awesome.
And then I came to you,
Came to me.
and then you gave me the skills I needed. And then since then, that's, I guess, what's happened. But I think I would call myself a novice entry-level producer right now.
Oh, no. I think you should call yourself a producer because the music sounded great. It's one
Thanks.
of those things I think that a lot of both performers and producers and engineers kind of think that, oh, I have to be doing it for 5 or 10 years before I can say I'm this. And you'll speak to someone who's been doing it for 10 years that says, I'm still learning too.
Yeah.
So you've got products that you've made. And I think that you've done all yourself. And that's something to
Thanks.
definitely be proud of
Thank
because,
you.
know,
Thank you.
people can make music and not feel like,
It's kind of like imposter syndrome, I think,
I think so.
where you kind of, I'm just, I don't know.
You're a
do it.
producer. Eve full stop is a producer, everyone.
Declared today.
Declared today.
Yeah.
I have a good question for you.
Okay.
It's a bit tricky though.
Okay.
If you had to describe your music, since it's not kind of like from a specific genre or style or influence,
Are you going to ask me what genre I'm going to call
No,
it?
no,
Okay.
no.
So I don't know
Can
how to make
you
one.
describe your music with 3 words?
3 words?
And it doesn't have to be musical words. They could be
Okay.
adjectives or references.
Ethereal.
Oh. You did say mystical before, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I would not call it divine as an adjective, but I think like a kind of like a divine life force, like
Oh,
higher self life force. I don't know how to put that into a word.
Like
Not really.
conscious or self
Yeah, I suppose like
self-awareness,
conscious-
mindfulness, conscious. Okay, cool.
Consciousness.
Is that
and
like from a lyrical point of view, do you think?
I think more so from a channeling point of view. I think when I write, there are some times where I feel like people can relate who write songs. You sit down to write something and you can try and push it up, but you know that it doesn't really feel right. And then there are times where
You're just
it
following
feels like
instinct.
the door's open and
Yeah,
someone's
right.
just giving you the information that you need. Like that's what happens in my dreams. So it's just kind of like a
Oh, that's where the ethereal and the
Yeah,
mysticism
yeah.
comes from.
and the last I would probably just say is fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yes. That's such a good word. We want music to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I want people to vibe out and just take a sec to
Reflect.
yeah, not even reflect, just be present. Hold presence for yourself.
Wow.
Be there.
Is it dancey? Like, would you describe your music as dancey, or is it like boppy?
It could be dancey. I have a song that I'm writing that could definitely be dancey.
Yes.
That's somewhere that I need to try and navigate in the producing world.
Yep.
But probably I would call it sway. Sway. Is that even a word?
Swaying.
I don't know.
I like that. I think
Sway.
that they all kind of connect quite
Yeah.
a lot. And it's something that you can, I think when you're listening to your music, you can kind of see it overarching all of the elements,
Yeah.
you know, from
Yeah.
the percussive elements and the foundational elements and the harmonic elements as well, which is really cool.
Thanks.
What's next?
Oh yeah.
You're doing your studies here,
Yeah.
and you're looking at releasing some music. Have you got music out already?
Yeah, so the last track I sang today, Modern Logic, I released earlier this year, thanks to you.
Oh, it's
Bow
okay.
down, bow
No,
down.
you did all the work.
And I have recently finished up recording one song, which was another one that I sang today, actually, 777.
Cool.
So I think I'll release that pretty soon.
Is that on Spotify?
It'll be
where
on
it's-
Spotify, yep. I think I did SoundCloud for the demo, but I think I
Yeah.
want to keep it all in one spot from now on.
Yeah.
And I think I'm hoping to try and do an EP next year and do it just all self-produced and really take some time to work. And I've kind of experienced for the first time making something and liking it, but not liking it enough to release it. So I think there's going to be a process of like distinguishing what's going to be on there and what's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really it. And then yeah, I guess finishing study in the next 6 weeks.
You're right.
Big time.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Then you can kind of
Yeah.
focus and take all that information
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
Yeah.
an EP is huge.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So if you're
I'm
going to
excited.
self-produce it, then you're definitely a producer.
Yeah, okay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Eve with a full stop is a producer.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just to reiterate.
so you've got some of your music on SoundCloud, so people
Yes.
can check it out,
Yes.
and some on Spotify, or not yet?
Not yet.
Not
So,
yet. Okay, we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, Modern Logic is on there, but it was released with Tremorverse, so it's not like under my name.
Okay.
Well, it is, but it's not on my. I don't know how to describe it.
No,
I'm
it's
just gonna
okay.
post
Have you
it.
got?
Yeah.
You're on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we
All
look
on
you up on
Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram,
That'll
we'll put
be there.
the links in. Then when your Spotify comes out,
Yeah.
we'll be like, yes, ready to hear this
Eve with a full stop.
self-produced producer Eve with a full stop, making ethereal, mystical, conscious, lo-fi, sway music.
That's fantastic. I should remember that.
Thank you so much, Eve.
Thank
All the
you.
best, and we
Thank
look forward
you.
to hearing more of your music.
Thanks, tomorrow.
For our next act, we have Bellsz. Bellsz has been studying at Melbourne Polytechnic for 2 years and completed a diploma of music performance in 2019, and is currently studying advanced diploma as a music performer as a vocalist. Over the summer break, she decided to put some music into her poetry, while her music is a mix of reggae, blues, gypsy, and some Brazilian samba vibes. Quite a mix due to her working as a Latin dancer for many years in Australia, Spain, and she has traveled to West Africa in recent years to study drums and dance. And over 10 years ago, she had studied flamenco dancing for over 5 years in the south of Spain. In Australia, she dabbled in some musical theater studies, acting, and background work. And without further ado, Belinda.
Hello, thank you for that nice introduction. I'm Bellsz, and this is my wonderful friend and flute player, Kim Wilson, on the bass also. My first song is kind of like a reggae sort of gypsy Latin-y tune called Dark Night, and it's about the dark night of the soul. Hope you enjoy. It's a dark, dark night when love is applied. It's cold and it's wet, no shelter to be get. It's sad and mean, no hope to be gleaned. It's sorry full of worry, no room to meet folly. I stare at the window, looking out at the moon. I'm confused and bemused how love became so untrue, untrue. My head in the dirt when I called your name. No answer came back. I heard I loved you in vain. Ooh, in vain. 'Cause I'm still here, filled with fear. Wretched soul lost, hurt and perturbed. 'Cause you have caused my heart on my sleeve, my bed full of weeds, withered in bed. You left me do or die, do or die. Left me deep, do or die. Ooh, ooh. It's time to forget, although you I do regret. I stumble with foes so heavy on my woes. 'Cause it's been tricky and sticky, no room to make Mickey, and it goes on too long. The night on, a long way we're in this pond of emotion. Dark my growth, you still have style. Ooh, you. There is no spring that I could bring, only thunder smile of ever pouring rain that gives so much pain. I'm still here, better feel after all these years. My heart on my sleeve, my bed full of weeds. You left me do or die. I'm swimming alone in a sea of darkness because of you and all of the hard times. 'Cause of you, and the heartless. Okay, so this next song is called My Love is Dark, but it has a rainbow-colored arc. It's a song about when you care too much and your love comes a bit dark. My love is dark, but it has a rainbow. Got it all. My love is dark. My love is dark, but it has a my love is dark. It's deep and pure, crept in between my chasm on sea. That's where the light grew to give myself a beauty ever true. My love is dark, but it has a rainbow. Got it all. My love is dark. My love is dark, but it has a rainbow. Got it all. My love is dark. Dream is not over, my love. In my heart unknown, dear, it's true. My love is dark, but it has a rainbow. Your love, oh, Thank you. Thank you, Kim, on the flute. All right, this next song is called Spotlights. It kind of influences from my samba days when I used to be a Brazilian dancer. I love those rhythms, but the song's about surveillance cameras. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Nowhere to run to, I can't hide. All the corners of bed inside, with spotlights are blind. I feel lost in this time, no friend or family to soften the blow. Each friend unfriendly to themselves, and from I got nowhere to run to. I go the corners of it inside, with spotlights are blind. Do 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 day do day, do 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 do. Spotlights are blind. Do do. I move from place to place quickly, to and fro. Chance avoiding the judgment and heated blows. I got nowhere to run to. I go the corners of it inside, with spotlights are blind. We spotlights are blind. Thank you. Thanks to all the organisers here at SLAM as well. Okay, have a good day. Night.
Hey guys, we're back, and our next act is here with us with her ukulele. This is Bellsz.
I'm all ready to go.
All ready to go.
Yes.
So Bellsz is your stage name. So that's
Yes.
how people can find your music.
That's correct.
Oh,
Yes.
so cool.
I have a Facebook page and I have some tracks on Instagram, but I don't have the actual page yet. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Mm.
All right, so we can follow you on Facebook as Bellsz. Wonderful. Tell us a bit about your music. So if no one's heard your music before, introduce us to that.
Okay, so I guess I love a lot of world music because I studied lots of dance and performed lots of dance. I'm really into a lot of Latin beats. I did Brazilian dance for years and flamenco and loved anything with heaps of percussion and loved reggae. So traveled and learned in classical Indian dance and some West African dance. So
You've been everywhere.
yeah, I love lots
Wow.
of rhythmic beats. So basically anything that's really rhythmic.
That's awesome. And you were actually living in Spain for a while.
Yeah, I lived there for 5 years.
Yeah, wow. How
Yeah.
much did that influence your songwriting?
Yeah, I guess because I used to study flamenco, so I guess that I like really soul sounds. Like I like soul music in general, soul and blues, but flamenco is also quite soulful music as well. So really inspired by sort of upbeat, soulful stuff.
Well, even flamenco is like a type of folk music, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, because
it's very
it's
cultural.
folk to Spanish culture.
That's right.
Yeah, wow.
Yes, and it's really mixed as well because they've got the Arabic influence and the Gypsy influence, which goes back to India, I think. So very
Oh,
interesting.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you don't even think about how, because you think of folk music and you think, especially from a like Western perspective, you're like, oh, like English folk and Irish folk and Aussie bush songs and stuff. And then you think, oh, well, folk music around the world is so different.
Mm.
You know, that's really interesting. Because would you call yourself a folk artist, or a singer-songwriter, world artist? Like, how would you describe your sound?
Oh, good question. Yeah, probably a folky, gypsy sort of reggae. I don't know. I like everything. I do everything really.
No, but that's cool though, because folk is really encompassing.
Yes.
If you think about it from the world
Mm.
perspective, from
Mm.
the experience that you've had.
Yeah.
So it really is folk in every essence of the word, in all aspects of musicology. That's
Yes.
so cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
So what about India? So you went to India?
Yeah, I spent quite a few years going back and forth studying classical Indian dance
Wow.
in the south of India. So that was an amazing experience. Have you been to India before?
No, it's on the list.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's an amazing country. So different to Western world.
Yeah. And same with the music there. Did that influence your songwriting, do you think, as well?
Yeah, I guess because with flamenco and classical Indian, you have to follow the singer mainly. So you have to but the dancer follows what the singer does, and it's also quite some sort of I guess sacred spiritual music. I've always been interested in too. Like they do a lot of their dances, of course, are worshipping the different gods they have. So I was always interested in the cultural background.
Yeah,
too.
like a cultural religious kind of tie there as well is really important for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because I feel like I'm learning about the place I'm in, about the people's history when I'm doing those kind of things. So I usually, when I travel, I always go and learn stuff.
Yeah, and you should. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Did you take your ukulele with you? Very attached to it. I do like it.
I
Looks
am
very
a
good
little
on
bit,
you.
but I'm not. I haven't been playing the uke that long.
Oh, really? It looks so
No.
natural on you.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, but I do love the uke. I like it because it's small and portable.
Yeah.
And I like the quirky sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's a really happy sort of quirky sound.
Which goes with your folk.
Yes.
Yeah. And so do you do a lot of solo work with your music, or do you often play with other musicians?
Sometimes I play with other ukulele players, but generally it's just by myself. And I've been working on some production classes, bachelor songwriting to sort of try and make all my own beats and everything as well.
You'd be having a lot of fun then, because then you'd be able to bring like all of these influences in and all of these rhythmic kind of exciting, I suppose, aspects that you have of your music, and then being able to back yourself with the ukulele and singing as well.
That's true. That's what I hope to do.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, music software though is a challenge in itself.
I know. But when you kind of have this vision of like, okay, this is what I'm going to achieve out of it, I think that's really special. I think you really like it.
Yes. Yeah. So far, I really do. Yeah. I have enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah. I'm really excited to hear that world folk.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Do you have kind of any major artists that you listen to that people might know that think, oh, okay, well, this is or a path that they could go down to listen to more of this world folk, or even music that's not so Western focused, that does have these folk elements that you draw a lot of inspiration from?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Because I have so many favorites.
Pick one.
You know, I always love Dead Can Dance. They're not, I don't know what you'd call them. They do kind of world sacred, but they're Australian, but they draw in a lot of beats from other cultures. And it's really interesting music and really interesting singing style. Oh, I've been a fan of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. He's from Pakistan. Nini Sawini is from India. He mixes like traditional Indian and Western beats.
Wow.
There's just then I listen to a lot of soul and blues stuff too.
Yeah, you did mention.
Yeah.
Like classic soul and blues, or any contemporary soul and blues artists?
Yeah, well, I need to get up to date on contemporary because I'm sure there's heaps out there.
Oh, there's so much music out there.
Yeah. It's never ending, really. There's just a massive list.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Goes on and on.
I think that the style that you're exploring is something that's really been emerging, and I've seen it quite a lot. I'm sure there is heaps of Australian artists, but specifically in the UK, there are some artists, Mariba and Arlo Parks, and they bring in these R&B influences to folk music, and like really pure folk music, you know, very raw organic lyrics, and it's all very clear guitar tones and very ballad like. But then there's these little kind of electronic beats in there.
Yeah.
And it kind of sneaks in there and you're like, what is this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's what you're doing.
That's what I'd like to.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of it so far, but it's what I'm really interested in doing
It sounds
more of.
so fun.
Yes.
I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. So
And you want to perform with that as well? Do you reckon? Like have some way of being able to bring all of that together in a performance?
absolutely. I would love to do something like that.
That sounds so fun.
I've got lots to work on, I guess, over the summer.
Yeah.
but
it sounds really unique. And I think that's something that a lot of artists kind of miss out on when they could have this really unique kind of approach to explore. And yeah, it's going to be difficult, which might be why it doesn't come up for some people, but being able to go, yeah, there's this sound that I have. I don't know what it's going to sound like because I want to take a little bit of this flamenco and a little bit of this classical South Indian and a little bit of Western folk.
That's
and put
right.
it together with ukulele voice and electronics.
Yes.
So we can't wait to hear what that sounds
Have
like.
it meet in the middle, and then maybe I'll do a dance.
Yeah. Do you dance when you perform? Is that?
Yes, but I would love to work on a dance that goes with the music. Yeah,
It just kind of comes naturally. You're like, no, stay in front of the mic, and you're just wanting to kind of shimmy away. That's so awesome.
Can't help it. You know, Brazilian dancer for many years, and
You're just playing, and you're like, I can't not move.
Can't
It's
not
move. No, but it looks so good as well because
Yeah.
you know people want to see that you're enjoying your own music. Because how can they enjoy it if you don't enjoy your own music? you
Oh,
know?
totally. It's so right. You got to see someone else enjoying themselves and having a good time for you also to get on
Yeah.
that wavelength and, you know, ride that vibe.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's all about the vibe. I've heard that word's come up quite a lot today. Creating a vibe.
Yes.
What's your vibe, do you think, with your music?
Oh, good question.
We were talking about aesthetic before, but what's the vibe?
Really? That's interesting. I don't it's kind of upbeat, I would think,
Yeah.
but like because I originally wrote poetry and I just put chords to my poetry.
Beautiful.
A few chords. So some of my poetry is probably a little bit dark with a light at the end of the tunnel. But I guess it's, you know, it's quite expressive and also and a little bit passionate. So probably something, I don't know, uplifting.
Uplifting is good. Yeah, it's so hard to because you're writing all these lyrics or these poems and then putting music to them, and that kind of happens instinctively, you know, with a background of music studies and living internationally and having so much experience with other cultures. And it kind of mixes together and you're like, cool, this is what the song sounds like.
Yes.
And you just naturally create these vibes or these environments that people get invited to and surrounded by when you're performing. And sometimes it happens or creates vibes that you're not expecting.
Yes.
So it's like, cool, if you're putting, you know, this idea like, okay, I want it to be uplifting, even though you mentioned that the poems or the lyrics might be quite dark.
Yes.
For someone, it might invoke like nostalgia, or there might be, you know, if you're talking about blues and soul, for some people that might be like, oh, very reflective.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting that you have such a positive a really fun, such a positive vibe. It's like, I make uplifting music, which is, it's not genre specific that way.
Yeah.
You can just be like, this is the thing that I want people to feel.
Yes.
It's like, why wouldn't you want to listen to something uplifting?
Yeah, right.
That sounds so fun.
I want people to feel groove. I think that's really important because I'm someone, when I go out to see music, I have to dance. So I have to see music that I want to dance to.
Yeah. I think it'd be funny to try and you watching some music and trying not to dance.
It's true.
I'm just like, I can't do it.
You're so right.
Like, that's what happens. No, I love it. I think it's very natural to want to dance, and especially if you've, done a lot of dancing before.
That's funny. When I was younger, and probably much younger, I used to see buskers and I would just be dancing. I'm probably the only one dancing.
And everyone's just like, what is she doing?
I just could not dance. I don't do that like now, but
why not?
I don't know.
You should just do
in some ways I'm more shy. But I really wanted to show I appreciate music. So I think that a relationship's important between a performer and an audience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I really want to hear this sound now. I'm really excited. We're gonna let you go and make this folk world uplifting groove music.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, we're so excited.
So nice to talk to you, and thanks for putting into words or describing my.
No, you did it. I'm just reciting it back. So you can find your music as Bellsz on Facebook. So we'll follow you on Facebook until that music comes out, because I'm sure everyone's really keen to hear what that sounds like.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tamara.
Thanks, Bellsz.
Been lovely chatting to you.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Our next act is Cravzov. Cravzov is the solo project of Pablo Cravzov, an Argentinian musician based in Melbourne since 2020. For 11 years, he was a composer and voice in a band, Sur du Monde, that led him to tour Azerbaijan, the United States, at South by Southwest Festival, and Europe. Cravzov proposes songs that come from rock and are screened in pop, where synthesizers and processed vocals predominate. The songs have a melodic sensitivity of pop music and epic of rock music, with traits of modern psychedelia. The lyrics talk about travel and all other things. And here is Pablo Cravzov.
About curfews, how I didn't believe in your silence. No, remember when we didn't care about days passing by, and how we used to take in the sunset. No, and it's about time to start hating this town. When we talk about how we thought about, how we dream about, are we of going away, never to come back to be somewhere else in another life. Do you remember we didn't care about curfews? And Oh, I used to take in the sunset. No, and it's about time we realize we love this town. What we talk about, and we thought about, and we dream about, only of going away, never to come back to be somewhere else, in another life, gone away, never to come back to be somewhere else, in another life. Thank you. Okay, good evening, everybody. This is Cravzov. That's my stage name. And this is Caroline. She's accompanying me tonight. Thank you very much. And yeah, it is very nice to be back on stage after so long. So I'm feeling very happy. I think everybody is feeling happy too. And yeah, I'm gonna play a couple of songs for you. Hope you enjoy it. This first one was called Going Away. And yeah, it's about my teenage years and the fact that I wanted to go away from my hometown, which was a little city, northern Argentina. And it was pretty boring. But yeah, we had fun anyways, I don't know. But we just dreamed about going away and to better places like Melbourne, for example. Here we are. So this next song is called Slumber, and it speaks about anxiety and other stuff. Myself tomorrow. I think you're softer than ever. I always hesitate, always, and I will judge. Close my eyes like yesterday. I'd say nevermore tomorrow. hear you breathing like never before. I will always answer to you, and I will dance and close my eyes. That's today. Thank you. So this is it. Short, but nice. So thank you again to the Slam team, to the people here in Melbourne Polytechnic. Thank you, Carolini. Thank you, everybody at home watching. Yeah, let's keep it up. Sorry about this. Soul will live again. I'm going crazy. Yeah, my hopes and dreams will be reborn. I give it all away, and I'm showing you my song. My heart and soul are here now. My heart and soul will live again. I'm going crazy. Sí, mi ilusión renacerá. Entrego todo y yo te muestro mi canción, mi ilusión está acá. Oh, 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 oh. I'm going crazy. Yeah, my heart hopes and dreams will be reborn. I'd stake it all, and I'm showing you my song. My heart and soul are here now. Yeah, my heart and soul will live again. I'm going crazy. My hopes and dreams will be reborn. I'd stake it all away, and I'm showing you my song. My hopes and dreams are here now. My hopes and dreams are here tonight. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Fresh off the stage, we have Cravzov with us with his super funky red glasses.
Hello, thank you.
Hello. How'd you go with your set? Did you have fun?
Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah, I was. We were just talking about how much I missed
Playing,
yeah,
being a
performing.
musician.
Yeah. It's like I didn't realize how much. I mean, I knew, but now I know better.
Yeah, when you start playing, you go, oh, yeah, this is what I do.
Yeah, this is what I like about it, you know.
Yeah. This part here that's
Yeah,
been taken
yeah.
away for so long. Oh, I'm so
yeah.
happy for you. And so you're up there playing guitar and singing,
Yes.
and you had someone playing cello with you.
Yeah, Carolini, she accompanied
Cool.
me with the cello.
So cello, guitar, and vocals. What a beautiful combination. What a beautiful timbre that would have created.
Well, yeah, originally the songs are pretty different because I have more like a synth pop psychedelic approach to my music, but the thing I always try to do is just work with songs,
Yeah,
so that you can do any setting you like and it could work.
Mm.
So yeah,
If at its core it's a good song, You know, if you can play it on guitar, if you can play it acoustically, if you can play it on one instrument and it sounds good, you're absolutely right. You can do anything to it. So you can bring your synth pop psychedelic vibes in after
Right,
it. And
and
you know that it's still a good song, because if you play it to its core and it's a good song, then it's a good song.
And you know, it's fun to mix it up a little, you know, and yeah, and I was telling you, we started playing when we practiced, and it just worked, you know, it just worked right away, and yeah.
That's so fun when
Yeah,
you're
fun.
working with someone, you're working with musicians that, you know, play your pieces or practice their parts, or that you have like a creative connection with it. You can be like, can you actually play it more dynamically here, or can you change your approach to the chord progression here? And then it just clicks and you're able to be like, oh, okay, those changes do work, and you're able to progress a lot faster.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I was thinking also to play tonight with a drum track, just like a drum machine.
Yep.
But I just last minute I figured
You didn't need it.
No, I mean, it would have worked either way, but I just preferred, you know, to be a little bit more organic this time. Maybe next time.
Maybe
We'll
next
see.
time something else.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, with your synth pop psych kind of sound, is that something you would explore using like effect pedals, or maybe running it through Ableton with something like just guitar and cello, like making loops and trying to make even more kind of spatial effect stuff with those instruments? Or is that something where you want to bring other players in on synthesizers and other guitarists and drummers and stuff?
Well,
Not sure.
That's a hard question, because I like all of it, you know.
Yeah.
So I you know, I a couple of years back I started trying to be comfortable with any different kind of situation, you know,
Yep.
where I can, because now it's you have to be flexible, you know, because you go to a venue which is very small and you want to bring an 8-piece band, and
You can't.
Yeah, or the venue producer says, yeah, I'm only gonna pay you $200, and then you
Each
know?
person gets nothing. Yeah.
But and it is a lot of work to have a big band with expensive equipment. And,
Yeah. Travel
so-
and
yeah, so it has to make sense. But yeah, I prefer to have a full band
yeah.
with like drum machines and synthesizers and even guitar and bass, or that you can do whatever you want, you know. But also it's fun to have these different configurations and
Have some kind of limitation.
yeah, right,
Mm.
right.
Do you think that also leads or lends to the ideas that you have when you're songwriting? If you go, okay, well, maybe if I had access to a keys player here, they could play this line. Or have you written songs with a band before that you've had to try and strip back? I suppose, like, what, knowing the ensemble that you're writing for or that's going to play with you, does that affect the way you write a song?
No,
Cool.
not at all. Because I have like a Sgt. Pepper's approach.
Nice.
I write something, I just put it in Ableton, and I don't think about how I'm going to perform that live.
You just get the
Yeah,
actual song out first.
yeah, and then becomes a little bit of a problem sometimes. You know, It's like,
How
I'm
is this going to
what-
happen?
yeah, and sometimes, you know, some things just work when you record them or you are producing, because then you get all the different elements playing together, and it just
happens.
It's a mess, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of frequencies that you can cut with an equalizer in the computer, but it's a little bit
There's only so much you can do.
yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
bit harder in the stage, unless you have your own soundy, which has to be kind of a magician, and
Especially if you want synth pop, psychedelic, acoustic
well, yeah,
guitar,
so
classical cello stuff. I
so
think.
many elements that sometimes is a little messy, and yeah, but I try also to sometimes to arrange the music where the elements take a place and take
Yeah.
a turn, you
Yeah.
know. So because I learned that then when you perform it live, it helps to the sound. It helps to the sound, to the overall result, to have different protagonists, coming and going.
Yeah.
Than to have everything up front all the
in
time.
your face all the time.
Yeah. But it is a challenge, Sometimes you just want to put mayonnaise.
Put everything everywhere.
Yeah.
Vegemite, tomato sauce,
everything.
Mayonnaise. Oh, that's actually a really good analogy of like what it can sometimes sound like. It's just so many flavors and tastes, and altogether it's like not what you thought it was.
Yeah, it's like it's just too spicy. Covers everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much Tabasco sauce. No, that's really cool though, being able to just get all of the, I suppose, like information of the song out and then go, okay, well, instead of it being a guitar, maybe it's a keyboard, or instead of being a whirly sound, it's an organ or whatever, and being able to kind of revisit that. And then like what you've done with Karolini today, being like, cool, this is this song and this is what I want you to play on cello. Right. You weren't writing the song being like, it'd be great if there was a cello here. It's like, I have access to a cello. Cool, let's try this.
That's it. You have you kind of have to think it both ways, Yeah. And sometimes you have to get rid of things that you like.
You're like, this isn't going to work.
A bit, because
this was the start of the song and now it doesn't work with the rest of the song.
One of the songs I performed tonight, or I will perform, I don't know. It's going to go in the cut. Started off as a really long verse.
Yeah.
Like it was almost kind of a bossa nova verse, like very long with a lot of different melodies. Like it wasn't pop,
pulse,
the pop music is like 4 bars and then you repeat.
Yeah.
Then you change maybe a little bit, but this was like, I don't know how many bars. And
X amount of bars.
And then I was like, when I was listening back, I was like, this is not a pop song,
This is not what I wanted.
What do I get rid of?
Yeah.
I had to, and I said, okay, I will get rid of this part, but I will use it in another song.
Did you use it in
No,
another
never
song?
happened.
Oh no!
But I
Disappeared.
still remember how it was because I liked every part, but I just I had to stick with what it was.
But that's what makes you so special as an artist and as a producer, being able to go, what is actually functioning in the song?
Yeah.
Just because I love it doesn't mean it actually works.
Right.
And being able to have that real, I suppose, functional critic. Instead of being like, this idea sucks. It's like, okay, this just isn't working here.
Yeah.
That's
and
really,
also,
really
and also
important skill to have.
I mean, I think with a little experience and over time, you kind of can tell apart what is I'm gonna maybe say something incorrectly, but like a musical masturbation,
when there's too much.
Because
I actually understand what you're saying, and I don't know how to translate
it's
that.
like masturbation for musicians. And if you think about it,
I'm trying to think of what the right word is, but I know what you mean.
If you think about it from the public, from the audience perspective, it's like, oh, this is so boring, and you go over and over with and it's, I mean, I don't like to write music for musicians. I mean, musicians are welcome. But
you have an audience in mind. You want everyone to be able to enjoy it. So
because I try to feel empathy for the audience and say, oh, this is going to be a drag, this is not going to work, and,
that's really good to have that audience perspective as an artist. I think a lot of people go, this is my song and you'll just like it.
Well, that's good too, you have to find the balance.
No, absolutely not. But I think specifically for the type of music that you want to write, and you are particularly writing for an audience, that's obviously a big part of your songwriting then, by the sounds of it, which is cool. What was my question? I was going to ask how long you've been writing songs, actually. Sorry.
A long time, but I don't know when it started, because I started writing songs when I was a kid,
Yeah.
But I don't, maybe the time is when it stopped being like a game.
Yeah, right.
It started being something that I wanted to to do more, or I really
And that you just do. Like, it's not something that you go, oh, I'm going to play with this. It's like, this is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, I really like the Beatles and some like local Argentinian rockers, and what they did was they weren't as good singers or performers or whatever, but what they their thing was to write songs.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do was I wanted to write songs, so I didn't want to play others. I wanted to, you know, but the main thing I wanted to do was
write your own songs. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I started when I was 10 or 11 years old. Yeah.
Wow. And that's where all that experience you're talking about comes from.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
I think. But then I started. I had my punk and metal bands, skater rock bands when I was a teenager, and we always wrote our own songs, and
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So where can people find this synth pop, psychedelic, electric, or acoustic guitar, cello music of yours? No, your synth pop music. Where can they go to find your music? You got Spotify or SoundCloud?
Yeah, everything.
Awesome.
All those platforms I'm in, and yeah, you just have to Google Cravzov.
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 Awesome.
And yeah, you can find the newest and the oldest.
Oh, how much music have you got up there at the moment?
Well, I have that from this Cravzov new project.
Yeah.
It's 3 years old, and I have just one record and a couple of singles.
Perfect. That's plenty of music to listen to.
Yeah, and then I have my former band, which was like an indie rock pop band.
Awesome.
It's called Sur du Monde.
Sur du Monde.
And yeah, you can find that too.
Oh, awesome. Cannot wait to check those out. Thank you so much for performing and rocking out with your awesome glasses.
Yeah, I had to grow my hair a little bit.
Just a bit longer now. It's perfect. Really looking forward to hearing the rest of your music. Check out Cravzov on Spotify and SoundCloud and Facebook. And we look forward to hearing more music from you.
Thank you very much, Tamara. Thank you to the Slam team, and thanks everybody watching.
Yay.
Up next, we have Karina. Karina Lehman is a Chilean singer/songwriter whose original music is rooted in Latin America and is fresh mix of Spanish guitar, romantic lyrics, and Latin folk rhythms, along with her soft and husky voice. Karina incorporates elements of pop, bossa nova, jazz, and folk, and different languages such as Portuguese, Spanish, and English. And put your hands together for Karina.
1, 2, 3, 4. in your eyes. I'm complete, free to jump into my dreams. As long as you are here, everything is fine. Daddy, in your eyes, I'm complete, free to jump into my dreams. As long as you are here, as long as you are here, as long as you are here, everything is fine. This next song is called Winter. Tears in my eyes when I see the moon. These winter nights are so cold. I can't escape from all the memories. Morning sunsets in your arms, all those times we laughed so loud. I don't have a reason to pretend. Deep within my soul, you're back again. When winter comes, when I'm alone, I let myself think of you. When winter comes, when I'm alone, I let myself think of you. A 100,000,000 thoughts floating in the sky. I wonder, where are you now? I've learned to feel complete without you again. But some days are hard to take, raindrops falling in my head. I don't have a reason to pretend. Deep within my soul, you're back again. When winter comes, when I'm alone, I let myself think
This is Son de la Luna Dormida, Son Jarocho, all the way from Mexico.
Dormida estaba la luna en una cama de estrellas, en una cama de estrellas. Dormida estaba la luna, dormida estaba la luna en una cama de estrellas, en una cama de estrellas. Dormida estaba la luna. Antes de caer el día cerró sus ojitos negros bajo una nube de frío. Negro quedó el firmamento. Antes de caer el día cerró sus ojitos negros bajo una nube de frío. Negro quedó el firmamento. Ay, mi luna, ay, mi luna. Yo te cantaré en silencio. Te cantaré en silencio. Bajo el cielo de la noche. Bajo el cielo de la noche. Un canto de agua y viento. Agua y viento. Ay, mi luna, ay, mi luna. Lunita, luna llena. Yo te cantaré en silencio. Cantaré en silencio. Pa' que despiertes mi luna. Despierte mi luna. De tus sueños del lamento. De tus sueños del lamento. Dormida estaba la luna escondiéndose del sol, pues se encuentra enamorada, sufre de un mal de amor. Dormida estaba la luna escondiéndose del sol, pues se encuentra enamorada, sufre de un mal de amor. Ay, mi luna, ay, mi luna, lunita, luna llena. Yo te cantaré en silencio, cantaré en silencio. Bajo el cielo de la noche. Cielo de la noche, canto de agua y viento, agua y viento. Ay, mi luna, lunita, luna llena. Yo te cantaré en silencio, cantaré en silencio. Pa' que despierte mi luna, despierte mi luna. De tus sueños del lamento, de tus sueños del lamento. Ay, mi luna, ay, mi luna. Ay, lunita, luna llena. Yo te cantaré en silencio. Cantaré en silencio. Bajo el cielo de la noche. Cielo de la noche. Un canto de agua y viento. Agua y viento. Ay, mi luna, ay, mi luna. Lunita, luna llena. Yo te cantaré en silencio. Cantaré en silencio. Bajo el cielo de la noche. Cielo de la noche. Un canto de agua y viento. Agua y viento. Ay, mi luna, ay, mi luna. Lunita, luna llena. Yo te cantaré en silencio. Cantaré en silencio. Pa' que despiertes mi luna. Despierte mi luna. De tus sueños del lamento. De tus sueños del lamento.
think that And we're back with Karina, who just smashed her performance out of the park with the band. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
No,
It's really
that's
nice.
so fine. I think that everyone really enjoyed it.
Oh,
I think it
thank
was nice
you.
to kind of get up and have some dances and have some
Yeah.
kind of have some kind of, experience again.
Yeah.
Being with live musicians, it makes such a big difference.
I know, it has been great for me these days. Just amazing. Coming back to uni as well, and
Yeah.
I usually perform in the same room, so it feels
Feels like
good.
home.
Feels like home. I was
Yeah.
nervous anyway, but yeah, it feels like home, and I love it. And yeah, it just made my day.
Oh.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hopefully it lasts a little while because it might need to carry us until the venues open up again. And then it'll feel
Yes.
good all over again.
Yes, exactly. We can't wait to perform live again. Yeah.
And be outside with people.
Yes, true. We need the interaction with
We
each
need
other,
to.
you know? Like
Well,
that
today
energy.
was really amazing, and I'd love to hear more about your music. Like, tell me about your music and your sound, Karina.
Well, I'm from South America. I'm from Chile, so definitely I got that rhythms, in my blood. So when I'm writing, of course, that is there. The rhythms from different countries.
Claves are important. Yes.
Yes, since I was young, I always was I was listening to bossa nova, Brazilian music, also Chilean music, Mexican music. So I thought, because it's part of me, that's my identity. I thought I have to be, honest with myself
And
and
it just
keep
come
that
naturally.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that also the idea of combining the rhythms from South America, but with some English lyrics as well. So because we can't forget we're here, even if I do a lot of songs in Spanish, but I love to be exploring a bit more in English as well, and even combining, like maybe rhythms from South America with some English lyrics. And I think bossa nova works perfect for that. And so I think my music is that. I think it's very colorful. It has all those elements, some instruments from different places. I got some instruments from Mexico. I love the combination of flute, how you see the amp performing with flute, and also just Spanish guitars. And that's probably the sound that is part of me, and I really like it, and I want to explore more of that.
That's so exciting. I think that it's so important to write and play the music that comes to you naturally and organically and instinctively, because people recognize that. People know when something's forced and when something's natural, it's coming out of you, and can go, oh, okay, you're just completely in this. And obviously growing up around so many cultures and claves and instruments and songs and dances obviously has such a fun influence, and colorful. I think that's a really good word for it to kind of explain that. Do you think that if you didn't have the instruments at your disposal, like your flutes and your guitars and stuff, would that affect the way that you write songs? Or do you write songs with vocals first and then write those things? Or
most of my songs I'm writing more with the guitar. But also now this year, I'm exploring more my voice and just be free with the voice, and also do a lot of improvisations and record all those improvisations, because that's something really important as a songwriter to explore, because we do have each of us, we have different sounds. We grow up with different music. So I think you need to let your body, your soul, just to sing whatever it comes. And then you can pick some of the best stuff of that. And then you can write more songs. But I feel like before I was really into the guitar songwriting.
Yeah, and that kind of led the songs, whereas now exploring with the voice.
Exactly. And I do want to perform, I want to do more vocals, be a bit more free with my voice. And that's something I'm exploring here at uni with some teachers and all that. And yeah, so I think I do have a couple of songs that is just like vocals, and I think that's really exciting.
So like a cappella vocals
yeah.
only.
Yeah,
oh,
just
cool.
This semester, well, and last semester as well, has been very challenging for the music students.
Yeah, of course.
Because we need to change the way we're performing, and we need to learn more about recording.
Yeah.
And that's also a great experience, and that's really good to explore your own sound.
Yeah.
So I think has been really helpful for me, challenging, but really helpful. And I think I like the way, you know, I'm composing in another way. So it's just great to find other options to compose, not just, you know, in front of the guitar or the piano. Yeah.
Such a positive influence, taking something that's such a restriction physically and mentally and musically, and then being able to take this, okay, well, here's an opportunity to explore more recording techniques, or to explore the use of recording, and then applying that to my songwriting.
Yeah.
And then using it in that way where, like, you've taken a totally different instrument, you've taken your vocals, recorded them, be like, that's really good. That was weird, but that might work over there, and I should do this more.
Exactly. No, it's a great way, and I think it's good to know yourself a bit more, and also to explore all those sounds, even sometimes sounds that are not really, you know, maybe not really common in songs. Why not?
Unconventional.
You know?
Why are they unconventional? Yeah. A cappella music is so beautiful and not as popular as I think it should be.
No, it's not. Actually,
Yeah.
like, for example, Bobby McFerrin, he's a great, you know, like vocalist. And I feel like sometimes I go to Spotify and he doesn't have many views, you know, and you're like, wow, my God, this guy is probably the best singer in the world. But, you know, like, doesn't matter. I think you need to do what you like.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
doesn't really matter about your audience. Like, your audience will come anyway.
Yeah.
Like, if you do something that you love, the audience will come to you.
Yeah. Oh, you've got to write music for yourself first, I think.
Exactly. I like my songs. Then after people like it, that's good. And I really love that, you know, but I do it for me as well. It's good for your spirit. So.
Yeah. So your vocals are beautiful. When you're writing the songs, here's a fun language question. Do you write the English songs specifically in English, or would you write them in Spanish and then translate them to English, or vice versa?
Writing in English is something new for me.
Yeah.
I just started maybe a couple of years ago. And I think because I've been in Australia for 10 years now, and it's part of me. And
You're an Aussie now.
I'm an Aussie.
We've adopted you. Karina's an Aussie.
Yes, I'm part of this country. And I think, and my life is half in Spanish, half in English.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like the songs that I have in English, the lyrics came to me naturally. Like, I was sort of thinking, oh, I'm going to write this in English, and why do I feel, and I'm going to write it. Maybe it's not going to be perfect, but this is my English, my interpretation.
Yeah.
And of course, I always check grammar, you know, like just check that
Don't
every
worry
word is
about
fine. I feel like you have to, you know, like you have to respect the language. And
it's amazing.
But yeah, maybe they're a bit more simple. And even a friend of mine was saying to me that sometimes, because even if I'm writing in English, maybe I'm thinking in Spanish, some poetry comes.
Because you're explaining it through a different language, using different terms.
Yeah, so it just sometimes it could be
special.
poetic as well, because it's not, you know, so in English. And I don't know, just I think, yeah, when I write in English, I'm trying to just do it, you know, thinking of that side of my brain that is thinking in that language, and the other side they're thinking in Spanish. Then I write the songs in Spanish.
Oh, but that's so special, being able to take. I never even thought of that, where, you know, different languages have different ways of explaining complex concepts or complex emotions.
Yes.
You know, sometimes there's just one word for it, and then in English it's like 2 sentences, you know, to get to the same thing. So trying to do that in a way, or trying to explain complex ideas simply is really hard. So if you're saying like, oh, it's a simple song, I don't think it's going to be simple the way you're describing it. It's like, yeah, trying to get all these complex kind of things. So when especially with the a cappella stuff, I'm really interested to know what influences the songs, I suppose, narratively or emotionally. Like, what are the songs about?
When I write, like, when I'm composing just with just improvisation,
yes,
I try not to use any words really, like, because what happens sometimes the words also limit you.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you
Your
don't want
melody
that.
and your
If you want to
rhythm.
explore your sound,
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to be free, and then you will find words probably, or maybe you won't, and that's fine as well. I think
Yeah.
you need to let it be as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying, when I'm composing now vocally, I try just to make sounds via another instrument.
Absolutely.
And then I can find words, or even maybe I will have a couple of words and I will play with those words.
and see the
because-
rhythms and the melodies, the contour you can make with
Yeah.
those.
Because in general, lyrics sometimes could limit yourself.
Absolutely.
And yeah, sometimes it's not good to limit yourself.
Mm.
Other times you want to limit yourself and you have the words, and
Yeah.
that's fine as well. So I think as a songwriter, you need to have different techniques.
Yeah.
I think if you explore different instruments, you're gonna have different songs.
Yep.
So that's great.
Yeah. And
Yes.
that sounds like it, like your approach to when you're saying your guitar songwriting
Yeah.
and then working into the vocals and all of these songwriting techniques. I'm sure all the songwriters watching are going, notes gonna write. Oh my gosh, these are all the things. Cause yeah, like there should be infinite exploration and everything that you explore is good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everything you explore is good. They're just different ways of getting to a destination, which
Yeah.
is the song, I suppose, is the
Yes,
destination.
and I think you have to be patient and also
Yeah.
be kind to yourself when you're writing. It's sometimes for the people who is starting,
yeah.
even for me when I was starting, I was really hard to myself. You always think, this is really bad. But maybe the next day is not too bad. So
Yeah.
I think you need to embrace all the ideas that are
Yeah.
coming to you and just pick the best ones, but just be kind to yourself.
And
when you
explore
are-
as much as possible.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you say you've been in Australia 10 years.
10 years. Yeah.
What brought you here?
I was just traveling for a year. I was planning to be here in 1 year, and I'm still here.
I love that. I was coming for
And-
1 year and now it's been a decade.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And that's how much I love Australia. I
Oh,
think
wow.
it's a place that, like welcomed me, and it was really nice to come here. And I think the people is really nice, especially in Melbourne. People is so friendly and such much culture. And yeah, it's I feel really lucky that I have the opportunity to live in Melbourne.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you start writing music in Chile or only when you started coming here?
Actually, here I decided to start a band.
Yeah, wow.
And then somehow the band took me to write songs, and then now I'm studying music. So it has been
Kinda
all
snowballed.
a journey. I used to play since I was 12 years.
Yeah.
Like guitar,
Yeah.
and I loved singing. But I thought I would take it more seriously here, and
Yeah.
Melbourne is a good place for
Yeah,
music.
it's such a
So
hub for music. Yeah.
I think it has venues and has an audience for all levels of musicians,
Yeah.
which is great.
and all styles and all.
And
yeah.
all the styles, because it's how when you are starting, sometimes it's hard to find a stage
Yeah.
to perform.
yeah.
And here, even you have the streets, like you
Yeah.
can do basking, and it's great. So I
Everywhere is
think-
the stage.
and that's why I love about Melbourne as well. So many musicians. It's really inspiring.
Ah, that's so cool. Being able to, when you came to Australia, that's when you were like, cool, this is where I'm going to be writing my music. Do you think that the Australiana, kind of, for lack of a better word, because Australian culture is such a mix of multiple cultures.
Mhm.
Do you think that's had an influence on your sound in any way?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Besides
Yes.
the language, obviously, it's very different from Spanish, so that will direct the syllables and the semantics really differently.
Yeah, but even with Spanish music, for
Mm.
example, like here, I had the opportunity to listen to all the music from Latin America as well. Like there's
Yeah.
Cuban bands, there's salsa bands,
Yeah.
or even cumbia bands.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from Latin America, like in Melbourne.
Yeah,
So
right.
that was great. And also all the, we have like Indian sounds, like bands, Africans. I think all those that music has inspired me as well.
Yeah.
Like, and it's definitely influencing my music.
Mm.
Yeah.
Being able to access everything.
Exactly.
Pretty much everything.
In which other city you can go to a different place each night of the week
Yeah.
where you're gonna listen, sounds from all the world, like from
Yep.
whatever you pick, you'll have it.
Yep, you've got
So that's
Turkish
amazing.
carbs, you've got traditional Indian,
Yeah.
classical Indian, then you can go nightcat and have your salsa night. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great for me. So it's a
Yeah.
great place to make music, and and I think we're really lucky to have all those bands.
Yeah.
We're really spoiled in Melbourne, like how good musicians. Like we have so many good musicians. I mean, you can go to so many venues and you will have
Good sound.
an amazing sound. Yes.
Do you write songs when you're writing in Spanish to English? Do you have any songs that have Spanish and English in the same song?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I'm starting to do that more.
Yeah,
But at the moment, I just have one. It's a bossa nova,
beautiful.
and I have half of the song is in Spanish and half of the song is in English.
I
And
love that.
and I really like it. I wanna keep doing that. I think it's great to have.
Beautiful.
And well, here at uni also we do it a lot with bossa nova songs, because there's a lot of bossa nova songs that has an English version.
Yeah,
And when I saw that, I was like, oh well, I can do that with my own music.
Yep.
And include two different, two Spanish speakers and English speakers.
That's so exciting.
So I want to keep doing that, and I hope people like it. I really like it because
Is that the
it's
acapella stuff?
No.
Okay,
no.
so that's
This is the
others.
bossa
So much
nova.
music, Karina.
This is a bossa nova that I had, and I did it because in uni I was most of the time performing in Spanish.
on my and you're always on. And you're always on my side. And you're always on my side. And you're always on my side.
as you well know,
We're back with our final performer, JP Marzin.
hello,
Hello. Did I scare you?
a little bit. You're quite intimidating.
No, I'm not
Oh, no, I'm kidding.
intimidating. No, you did an awesome set.
Thank you.
You smashed it.
I saw you front and center.
So front and center. Tell us, if no one has ever heard your music before, how would you describe it to them?
Well, my original music really only kind of birthed this year. And I've kind of been on a somewhat of a journey of late that's been kind of less hardcore techno and house, and more so on like the progressive side of, I guess, techno.
Like prog house?
Yeah, a little bit more prog house.
Okay.
Moving
into the mainstream slowly.
Not so much.
No, it's not a bad thing.
A big influence of the last maybe 2 or 3 months has been an artist, a duo from Germany called Superflu.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of kind of like earthy tones and like really percussive, which is my background being drums.
Yeah.
And I just found that trying to force myself to write harder style of techno, it was good for the learning production, because it is a lot of, as you well know, it's very hard to get those sounds right. But I found that just allowing myself to be a bit more natural piano sounds and those more organic tones, I'm finding myself in that more leaning towards that kind of sound.
That's really cool.
If that answers the question.
No, it absolutely does. Like, it kind of, the way that you naturally approach the sound is how it's falling into the style of the genre that it's falling in. It's not a conscious effort to go, okay, well, I've made hardcore techno, I'm going to go make something else now. It's like, well, if I'm wanting to introduce these more organic percussive sounds rather than the synthetic sounds, because like, yet hardcore and techno and trance is every element is very loud.
Yes.
In every sense of the word.
100%. Yeah.
Thick and just overbearing and all kinds of stuff. So it's a really cool change to kind of take it from that really synthetic almost into an analog acoustic world.
Somewhat, yeah. That's it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That transition's been interesting, because I feel like it's also kind of I overcame a learning curve, and it's like, my sound design has jumped like well beyond what I thought it would be at the beginning of the year, let alone in the middle of the year. And even just that production process, I'm allowing myself to be more creative while I'm producing.
Yeah.
Which I think, again, as you will attest to, is rather than kind of trying to sit there in front of the computer and
make the perfect sound.
Yeah, and force yourself. All right, I'm going to do 16 bar loops and it's going to sound amazing. Or I'm going to compose a 5-minute track and then worry about it later.
Yeah.
Those things are happening organically at the same time. So I'm getting more results. Well, not more results, the results that I want, or at least I feel I should be getting in a short amount of time, which more fun, more creative, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that
really exciting.
Yeah, and the more that you practice something, the better you're going to get at it anyway.
Totally.
So like with your production stuff, and you're starting to overcome that, or you're starting to rather see the results from it that you said that you wanted to see. But the more you actually practice doing something, the quicker and naturally it will come for you. So if you go, wow, that bass is really squelchy, but I'm going to come back to that because it doesn't matter right now. I've got to ride this kind of thing. And it's being able to, one of my production teachers used to say, put your blinders on. And you can't have, your 30 tracks or whatever you've got going on and have complete attention to each one of those as you're doing it, because you'll never get to the end of the song.
Ever.
And your 16-bar loop might sound great, but then when you try to add anything to it or expand it, then you got to do the same thing again, and everything changes. So that's really exciting to hear that that's where it's going for you. You'll write a lot more, and you'll write a lot more that you feel instinctively about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I mean, we talked before the camera was rolling about some of the native instruments, and complete being one of them. And there's some actually really cool piano sounds in that plugin.
They're beautiful.
And now I did get my dad's. I've inherited some really nice equipment from him. One of the Roland synths, unfortunately, it's not working, and I've got some technical issues to get it going, but it's there, ready to go.
Yay.
So I'm still on my little like M Audio 22 key. But at least it's such a simple thing to do. It was always to my left, and I'd always just kind of play with it as a sampler. And I've actually shifted it in front of myself, and being able to play just an octave of piano, and it just again the sounds
changes
that I want.
The songwriting
100%,
completely.
100%. So just finding a sound that I want off the bat, which is piano. I'm a huge diehard fan for piano sounds, particularly in house and techno, and where they've kind of brought that sound.
It's a nice stark comparison to have such an acoustic sounding instrument.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think my inspiration there with some of the harder styles of techno that have used, say, like organic instruments as a piano, is a lot of it's like sus chords, minors, really kind of, you hear them, you go, oh, is that in tune? It is in tune, but it's like, it's not. It's
so dissonant from the timbre and the world that you put it in. It's like,
yeah.
Why are you there? What are you doing here?
Challenges the thought of what music is, I suppose, to some degree, but is also enjoyable. So that's been huge, just being able to, with a little bit of piano background and knowing my 1/3, 5/7, 8/9, and all that kind of stuff.
Piano is technically a percussive instrument.
It is. With the hammers, they're called hammers, aren't they? The hammers?
Yeah, it's /percussive/ stringed instrument.
Yes.
That is a debate for another day with
some
people.
I quite
Either
like
is fine for me.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. I think that there are so many ways that you can bring acoustic elements that aren't traditional into electronic stuff. So you might take a piano, but like you said, like with the hammers, you might, I don't know, put pencils on the string so that when you hit it, you get these weird rattling sounds.
Yeah.
Or you might set a piano on fire. That's been done lots of times, and people record that and play that. That's a real thing,
Heat things up. Yeah.
Literally blow it up. But there's so many ways that you can, especially percussively, I think you'll find you can make your own samples. Like you could just go around your room and hit walls and close doors and jangle keys and like chuck that into battery or chuck that into your sampler, and when you mix it in with like really nice, like complete's beautiful. There's so many, I think, being able to find as a producer, finding sounds that you resonate with naturally that go like, this is the EP or this is the Moog synth sound that I want. Do you know, when you find them and you go, oh, okay, like this might work really well with this tree falling sound or whatever. And I think, I think that's really fun and exciting to hear you exploring that in an EDM genre because it's kind of like it either goes down like the bonobo quartet route where it's really organic and chill, or you get your prog house, really electronic pop kind of stuff. And I think if you get in the middle of that, that's what's going to be so unique about your music. And like there's already this unique sound in your music because of your percussion background anyway. But I'm really excited to hear what that sounds like.
So even just tightening it up, even just getting that production right, I think it's huge, because then it's the first time I'd heard that track in a louder system with subs and everything else. And I spent about 3 hours yesterday remastering it, because again, I've gotten better since I actually made that track. And I found myself just taking out so much low end and kind of doing some compression and some expansion. So when I've got that technical stuff, I don't think anyone ever gets it right ever.
No, but you're finding it that it's making the sounds and that you want it to make.
I find it problem solving. It's like, oh, that's too high. I know I can do this, this, and this, and I do it quickly, which means now I can go back to being creative. Which anyone that's learning sound production, that would be. I think that's the hardest hurdle. What does a compressor do?
Yeah,
well, it can ruin your music. That's what it can do.
You hit it on the head, and I think when people watch this and they go, yeah, it's this tip between creativity and technicality.
100%.
Yeah.
Left and right brain.
Yeah, I remember watching this interview with Tom Morello. Right. And you just spent like, I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 solid years just practicing technically every day for like 6 hours, which is a lot of work to do technically. And
Yeah.
so when he's teaching, he goes, oh, you can just do this, and just kind of shreds. And because that becomes so instinctive.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's just spent all this time doing the technical stuff in a large chunk, dedicated so many hours so that the rest of it, the creativity kind of comes from that. But when you're starting, especially in production, especially in electronic music, you can get that feedback instantly now, which is so gratifying. But then also kind of you forget that there is this tiptoe between those two worlds. I think that's really, really important to reflect on when you're writing specifically electronic music, because you're our first electronic artist today. Like, we've had some producers and stuff, but in more R&B and folk. But I think electronic music, balancing the creativity and the technicality.
I think it's, well, for me anyway, I can't speak for anyone else, and for the friends of mine that kind of have been helping me on the technical side of things. That there's like, once you can get to that point where you've been through, like you said earlier, you've been through that process enough, you've made enough songs that sound like elevator music.
Music.
You know, and regardless of whether it's a nice arrangement or whether you've got them in the right key or whatever, I mean, you can always just take that MIDI out and put it into a new project anyway.
Yeah.
And it was, kind of getting to that point where my music's starting to sound like I could play it at a club or on a radio, like referencing, and for it to, what's the word? It's been a long day. Translate.
Yeah.
iPhone, big club.
Sounds good everywhere.
Sounds good everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm so close to that, and it's so.
Yay!
It's really, that's really
so
exciting. Because that for me, particularly in this year, and a lot of your help, and
it's like a big tick to be like, I did this.
That learning curve was so steep.
Yeah.
And like I said, like as you mentioned, you can kind of, it is so easy to put some MIDI down on a computer and make it sound fun and have happy, but if the real test is to put that on a huge system, and for it to fail miserably.
And the space is a big part of that too.
Well, that's the other thing, like learning about the fundamentals of sound, how reverb actually works in the acoustic domain, the speed of sound, that kind of stuff. Like that for me as a technically minded person, helped me kind of imagine how it would sound coming out of a speaker. You know, like what really blows my mind is that anything at say 10K is making the driver of that speaker vibrate 10,000 times a second. It's like, what? You can't imagine that.
Maths and science and
Physics
sound. I know it's
and
crazy.
stuff.
I've never heard anyone talk about sound theory influencing the way they write songs. That is so cool.
It's huge.
That's so unique.
Yeah, there's something to. I've been reading a lot of books this year. I gave myself that challenge because I'm not a huge reader. One of those, was from a library here, was Making Labels.
Yep.
It's a fantastic book. It was based on independent labels, particularly in Europe and around Germany, in Berlin, and talks about the culture and
the whole Berlin scene.
Just the whole thing. Yeah. Like 90% of the independent labels there are still printing on vinyl, and what that means for the industry and so on and so forth. And there was this one anecdote that he used. I've forgotten the guy's name. He also wrote a few other books. He's a prevalent producer, author in Australia. I forgot his name, unfortunately. And anyway, they were interviewing some of the guys that were running independent labels there, and this word heterotopia came up. I'm like, what is a heterotopia? And they pretty much spent like a whole half a page talking about it. And the examples of that would have been, say, like Berghain, where it's not just the building, but it's the culture inside the building. And CBGB, which is like almost the birthplace of punk rock.
Yes.
Revolver here in Melbourne. So these places aren't just venues where people go to dance and have fun. Culture's born from them.
Okay.
And there's this kind of,
so it's like geographical
sound,
evolution.
Kind of,
Yeah, okay, right.
It's like, well, that class that I took with you, which was great, learning about music map and all this kind of modern music history. And like the German techno scene, for instance, wouldn't have, I mean, all things aside, wouldn't have happened if the war hadn't stopped, and all those empty warehouses wouldn't have been empty. Like that's the warehouse parties came from that.
And you wouldn't have house if you didn't have disco. And you
Correct.
Wouldn't have, it's a whole thing.
So this heterotopia thing was like back to the point of being in the space. When I'm writing, I'm trying to start saying, well, who's going to listen to this? I want this to be played at a huge festival, at Rain Rainbow Serpent or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's this going to sound like to 10,000 people on this huge system?
And that influences the songwriting.
Straight from the
Wow, that's so cool.
because the sound design has to be there from the start.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like you said before, you might have 16 bars sounding great, but then you introduce a synth stab and it
doesn't
weak and-
work.
yeah.
Very cool.
Anyway, it's a long story.
No, that's really fun, and I think that a lot of people are going to be really excited to check out JP Marzin.
That's me.
You're on SoundCloud.
I am.
You're on Spotify.
No, not that
Oh.
cool yet.
Okay. You're definitely on SoundCloud.
Definitely on SoundCloud.
So yeah, we'll check it out on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And follow. You're on Twitch though as well. got a
Yeah, I
Twitch
was
channel?
doing some more
When
kind
we're
of
in
video stuff and
COVID.
all that kind of thing. Yeah, I toyed with that, which is good. I've got all that stuff locked in now if I ever want to
Yeah.
get things up and running. But yeah, that was just something to do while I was bored.
Nice.
So I
Well,
learned
it's a
how to
good
do that.
creative thing.
For sure.
All right. Well, we'll check out your stuff on SoundCloud.
Awesome.
And
you.
thanks for playing and having a good time.
No worries. It's my pleasure. Thanks.
And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and watching our talented student artists perform. If you want to know more about the artists or learn more about the competition, please go check out the National Campus Music website on www.campusmusic.com.au. All the best and have a great night.